You think you know me?
Yo, morning y'all. It's Orange Gatorade Talk Show. Back solo dolo once again. We got the Super Bowl tomorrow, but we got some NBA trade deadline talk as well. Now, we were going to try and get an episode out last night, but that did not happen. So, I'm here by myself this cold morning. Bro, do you know when you wake up in the morning and you just hear that wind, that cold wind whistling right next to your window, bro, and you just know you're not leaving the house. So, shout out to Katie. I think we going musty today, but we'll see about that. Anyways, bro, hope y'all doing good. I'm going to get into these trades. Obviously, bro, I'm not about to go through every single trade at this deadline solo dolo, because that would just be like 3 hours of just straight yap. And to be honest, there's some trades that happen that I have simply no opinion on. Now, we're going to get started with the trade that pretty much kicked off the deadline and just it kind of snowballed from there. Jaren Jackson Jr. seemingly out of nowhere was traded to the Utah Jazz. If you asked me to make a list of 29 destinations that I think Jaren Jackson Jr. would go to in order, the Jazz would probably be like 27th or 28th on that list because it was just so out of the blue. Like I said, I didn't even have Shams notification set at the time, so it caught me off guard when I got the real notification of Jaren Jackson Jr. to Jazz. What? I was flabbergasted, bro. Overall, I think this is a good get for the Jazz, and I'm going to speak on this a little bit later. They're doing something a little bit similar to the Wizards. But yeah, they have probably, it's got to be one of the biggest backcourts in the NBA, right? Surely it is. Walker Kessler, Lowry, and Jaren Jackson, 3 7-footers. That's ridiculous, bro. It's a little bit risky from the Jazz, obviously. You know, when any team tries to buy a fucking player, it's risky. I don't know why I say that every time, but they're clearly expecting Keontae George to take another offensive leap on top of the offensive leap that we're seeing this season right now. So that's why I say it's a little bit risky, but, you know, they still have young guys. They have Isaiah Collier. And, you know, Ice Bryce survived the trade deadline, so I'm excited for him. But, yeah, I do think the Jazz are low-key building something here. For Memphis, I don't know. I don't know if this was too soon or if you could have got more for him. Because, honestly, bro, these picks aren't really moving me much. There's a 2031 Phoenix Suns pick in there, which, I mean, you know, that's just so far down the line that I don't even really want to get into that. But, you know, Phoenix, as we know, is not really much of a marquee destination for superstars. So there's a chance that it could end up being something. But come on, guys, that's half a decade from now. Like, I'm really not going to get into that. But yeah, for Memphis, I think this was just overall to kind of help rip off the Band-Aid in terms of they know they're probably not going to get a very good return on Ja, whether that's in the summer or next season, because I don't see Ja staying long-term on Memphis, even though he made it past the deadline. And so, yeah, I think this deal was just kind of to ease or help usher them into the new era without this young core, which, I mean, dude, it's so crazy how fast this team got blown up. Brooks, Bane, Jaren Jackson, Ja, all gone. It's ridiculous. It feels like just 2 years ago they were, you know, one of the better teams in the West. But it is what it is, man. Such is life. But yeah, I am very surprised that we didn't see Ja moved, especially after the Jaren Jackson Jr. trade happened. I thought it was for sure kicking off because, you know, the deadline, at least in terms of, you know, headlines and who we were expecting to get moved, they were really locked in on two people, it seemed like, the media. One of them was Ja, and the other is a guy who I'm about to get into right now because we just had some news break last night about this guy, Giannis Antetokounmpo from the Milwaukee Bucks, who was not moved at the deadline, despite, you know, pretty much everyone being assured that it would happen, that this was finally the time for the Bucks to put this behind them and just look forward into a new era. That did not end up happening. Giannis ended up staying with the Bucks and dropped some corny ass Facebook Wolf of Wall Street. I'm not fucking leaving. You know the clip. And then just a day after the trade deadline ended, Giannis has announced that he is partnering with prediction market company Kalshi. He is a shareholder in a prediction market company that was just allowing people to bet on whether or not he would leave the Milwaukee Bucks. I know I'm really not too familiar with these prediction markets. I know it's a much slippery slope, much more slippery slope than just your average sports gambling. But the fact that this shit is not going to be federally investigated is just an absolutely horrible look. This is a terrible fucking look just for sports in general, bro. We are in the darkest fucking days right now, man. Giannis is partnering with Kalshi, bro. It is so crazy just the complete 180 that Giannis's PR has done in just like one calendar year, bro. Giannis was like one of the most beloved. He was one of my most beloved players in the fucking league. And now you are just running around like an absolute jackass, bro. You are telling me. I now see. I don't want to accuse Giannis of anything, but I am led to believe that you just scammed a bunch of fucking NBA fans. And now, obviously, there's people on Kalshi and all these fucking prediction marketing apps who just kind of throw money at shit without even really thinking twice. And that's what makes this shit so dangerous, bro. I'm not even. I'm sorry to even go into a tangent right now, but this is dark, man. And of all people, Giannis, bro, like, why the fuck are we doing this, bro? Yeah, and the fact that these are the same markets that were pushing the idea of Giannis leaving so hard. I don't even want to look at, what the odds and all this and that were, because I'm almost convinced that he had to have some type of stake in whether or not he would go to Milwaukee or stay in Milwaukee. I'm sorry. This just got me so vexed right now. I'm just spilling over my words. But there's got to be something more to this, is what I'm trying to say, really. You don't just come out and partner up with fucking Kalshi the day after the trade deadline ends, bro. I'm sorry. That reeks of fucking fishiness and bullshit, bro. That's got to be investigated, man. I'm sorry, and I know I just am yapping right now because I don't know how these fucking prediction markets are run. But come on, bro. Giannis, I am so fucking beyond disappointed in you, dog. Milwaukee, y'all should have traded him because holy hell. Y'all are in the worst era right now. Y'all got the bad ending, Loki. Oh my goodness. Moving on into probably, I guess, the biggest deal this deadline in terms of star power. Nah, probably not. AD going to the Wizards for essentially absolutely nothing. The Wizards did not give up a single one of their own picks. I believe they gave up, was it 2 or 3 first rounders, but they were not their own picks. So they're still in control of their own destiny, which in my opinion is the best place to be. You just want to have all your own picks. That's all I care about in the NBA. But I'm also just like a sucker who loves to like participate in draft day, and that's really the only reason I say that shit. If they gave up their own picks for him, so be it, bro, because I think the Wizards will probably end up being a pretty competitive team in a couple of years, or if not next year. Because this is like I was talking about with the Jazz earlier, this is some new era team building that it's kind of uncharted territory, at least in my opinion, because I really can't put a label on what this team is. I guess they're still rebuilding, because I would assume that the priority of this team is the young players. And you just kind of brought in these 2 all-NBA mentors to, kind of develop them and play alongside them. And hopefully I'm right about that, because if we get like an Anthony Davis 2-year extension or something, if Washington does that, I don't know, man. I would start to feel a lot less good about this, because I think, Trey and AD, I think they only got 2 more years left on both of their deals. Or matter of fact, Trey is on a player option next year, so he probably is going to sign an extension. I don't know if AD will. But yeah, it's low risk, man. Like, let me see what they gave up, actually, for everything they got at this deadline, because it was honestly just a fucking masterclass, man. I'm sorry, bro. I know I glazed the Wizards on here so much for a team that is so bad and has been so bad for years. But goddamn, this was just such a masterclass, this deadline. So they got rid of CJ McCollum, Chris Middleton, Corey Kispert, AJ Johnson, Marvin Bagley, the OKC first rounder for this year, a 2030 Warriors top 20 protected pick, which is fucking useless, bro. And in return, you get Anthony Davis, Trae Young, Jaden Hardy, D'Angelo Russell, and Dante Exum. You can't tell me that's not good business, bro. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I know this is really just like kind of a why, or like, is there really any reason to this? other than just having like some fucking jersey sales and ticket sales in Washington for a couple of years before AD inevitably moves on. I don't know. But I think if Washington plays their cards right, if they don't overinvest in AD and Trae Young, like, please do not give either of them a fucking max extension. I will rip my hair out. And just, yeah, stay the course and just invest in your young guys. You hopefully are going to have a very good pick this year, because I don't expect them to try and win any more games. So if they can nail a top 5 pick, boom, that is fucking lovely. And they'll, your young guys will be on national TV next year. They'll be getting some experience under their belt, and by the time they're in year 4 or 5, they're already conditioned to high level NBA competition, which I think is massive, and a pretty overlooked part in this deal. Sar and AD are going to be special together if they play together, because at the end of the day, this is Anthony Davis that we're talking about, so you kind of have to take everything with a fucking boulder of salt, not even a grain. But yeah, hopefully AD can stay healthy. I don't think I saw a report he's not going to play for the rest of the season, which I expected. So hopefully he can come back next season, be healthy. But as we know with AD, it could literally happen at any moment. At any moment, it could go from fucking 28 and 14 a night to he's out for 2 weeks, and then it snowballs into 3 months, and then he's out for the season. That's really how it be with AD sometimes, man. You just gotta take it how it is, and that's why they got him for so cheap, to be honest. For Dallas, this move really serves no purpose other than just putting that fatal fucking mistake behind them. They get some picks, which is always good when you're trying to build around such a young core that they got right now. And the whole core is just literally Cooper Flag. Oh my goodness. And what I think is honestly one of the more enticing trades this deadline, the Pacers trade with the Clippers to get Big Zoo. They give up a protected first rounder for this year that is protected 1 through 4 and 10 through 15. So the Pacers, I've never seen this. This has definitely happened before, I'm sure. But this is the first time that I remember seeing this, where you section out the protections. I've never seen a 1 through 5, 10 through 15 protections. That means that 1 through 4. So that means that the Clippers would only get this pick if it falls in the number 5 spot, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is a massive dice roll for both sides. This might be the most excited I've been for a fucking draft lottery in my life, dude. Because, this is just so wild. I don't know, because both these teams are fucking desperate for this pick. And it's just, there's such massive implications when you have such a high octane draft class like we got this year. Or at least people are saying it's going to be. So I'm excited, man. I'm very fucking keyed in on this lottery. And there's just so many teams tanking right now, bro. There's at least 8 teams right now. Let me see how many teams there probably are. So there's about 9 teams in the league right now who are going to be gunning for that spot right now. You got Sacramento, who are god-awful. New Orleans, who doesn't even have their fucking first rounder. They're just going to be bad by design. Or not by design. Pacers, bad by design. Brooklyn, nobody knows. Washington, Utah, because both these teams, it's their last season tanking, so you're probably just going to try and really, really just shit the bed as bad as possible to end the season. You got the Mavericks with the 7th worst record. The Grizzlies are definitely going to be in tank mode. And the Bucks, who I believe they swap, if they somehow are above the Pelicans, the Hawks will get the better pick. But, yeah, all of these teams are going to try and be as bad as humanly possible. And maybe even Chicago, too, because nobody knows what Chicago's doing, bro. I saw reports that they were trying to make a play-in push, bro. They are doing crack in Chicago. I cannot put my finger on what the fuck they've ever been trying to do, ever. But yeah, anyways, this is a good get for Indiana. I don't even know how the fuck I got on that tangent right there. Great get for Indiana. Halliburton is going to come back to a center who is better, in my opinion, and cheaper than Miles Turner. Huge. And Zubac, I think, just makes life so much easier for his point guards as opposed to a Miles Turner. But we'll see how it goes. Do not let the Pacers get fucking Darren Peterson. I'm telling you right now, do not let them get Darren Peterson. Shit is going to get very spooky for the Eastern Conference if that happens. I'm just telling you now. God, I'm so excited for this draft, man. Moving on. We got the James Harden and Darius Garland swap. My bad. Cole Palmer just scored a hat trick. This is just obviously a desperation move from Cleveland, but it just kind of shortens your window, and honestly, some front offices need that fire under their ass a little bit to just kind of get them locked the fuck in. But I don't really see any way up for Cleveland right now, to be honest. They did have a solid deadline, like all things considered. Getting Keon Ellis and Dennis Schroeder out of DeAndre Hunter was great, in my opinion. So it's not all bad for Cleveland, but I just don't think this team is going to get over the hump, to be honest with this team. Moving on to a team that had a terrible fucking deadline, in my opinion, bro. The Atlanta Hawks. The Atlanta Hawks, this deadline, were moving like, I don't know if y'all probably have seen this clip of the fastest cashier I know, bro. The fastest cashier I know. They don't play. They just brought in infinitely worse assets to replace their bad assets, bro. It was not great. It was not great. Let me see all the assets that they were able to bring in this deadline. So we got Gabe Vincent and Jonathan Kuminga. Who else we got, bro? Buddy Hield, CJ McCollum, Jock Landale, and Corey Kispert. And also 3 second-round picks. Well done, Atlanta. Yeah, I don't know. The Hawks have been confusing me for a while now. I'm just praying that for their sake they can double dip in like the top 8 this year, because they do have the Pelicans pick and their own pick, and there's a very good chance that will happen. So yeah, I guess just stay the course, dude. I don't fucking know. Hopefully y'all just get lucky. Moving on, we got Nikola Vucevic going to the Boston Celtics for Anthony Simons and a second-round pick. I really like this for Boston, just not even in terms of this trade, but just like the deadline as a whole. They shed so much money, and they really did not get any worse. It's just another fucking Brad Stevens masterclass. Like, please spare me, bruh. Please spare me. Oh my god. It's like every fucking deadline or every off season I gotta get on here and glaze the fucking Celtics for being the best run organization in the NBA, bro. I'm so sick of it. Well done, bro. Well done. Congratulations. Seriously. Oh my god. Jared McCain, friend of the show, going to OKC for a second-round pick from the Houston Rockets, who, I don't know, guys. That pick might be a little bit better than we were thinking. The Rockets have been really, really struggling in the new year. I honestly forgot to say this. I really wish that they were the team that went in on Harden. I think that they needed him the most out of anybody by far, dude. It's been real ugly. Their offense has been dreadful since January. Their offensive rankings in 2026, they are 29th in points per game, 29th in field goal percentage, dead last in three-point percentage, dead last in free throw percentage, 29th in assists, 30th dead last in true shooting percentage, 26th in offensive rating with an 11-9 record. I just think that personally, you don't have to get desperate with a team that is as young as they are, but shit, man, I can't lie. They've low-key been getting exposed lately. All of these young players have very, very glaring flaws. So we're going to have to reassess Houston this offseason. And obviously, they are desperately, desperately missing Fred VanVleet and Steven Adams, but I still don't think that would be enough to make them a contender, even if they were healthy. Sorry about that, though. Back to Jared McCain to OKC. I think it's great value for OKC. A team desperate for some scoring right now. They're still so reliant on SGA. It's ridiculous. So, yeah, good value, good pickup. Philly, you might have jumped the gun, but we'll see. And lastly, in our, I guess, big news, even though this is really not that crazy, the Brooklyn Nets have waived Cam Thomas, who is low-key looking like, and it is crazy to me, just that we're in an era now where a 25-point-per-game scorer just 2 years ago, who is still only 24 years old, is now a free agent. He got cut from one of the worst fucking teams in the league, and he wasn't even making that much money because they couldn't get anything for him at the deadline. That is crazy to me, bro. I know we're in new era analytics hoops. God damn, dude. I could not imagine 10 years ago if this had happened, bro. They would have been writing fucking rap songs about Cam Thomas 10 years ago, bro. This is insanity. But honestly, I understand why. He is a very flawed player outside of the scoring. But let's be real, bro. Cam Thomas, you are far too talented to not stay in this league, bro. You will figure it out. I believe in you, dog. Guys can't just come in and score 24 points per game or 25 points per game if they're not a serious NBA level talent. So, best of luck to you, Cam. I'm not too worried, bro. I'm not too worried. I think he will probably end up finding a good little spot. Yeah, just make the most of it, bro. We're rooting for you. All right. I think we got through most of the stories right there. That's going to wrap this episode up. I appreciate you guys for watching. It's been your boy Orange Gatorade. Peace.